I'm going to put one more. Oh, nope, nope, never mind. We're not putting those on there. Nah. We can throw that on there, though. Why not? Let's turn that down now. I believe I can do that. I'm doing this a different way. I'm doing this on a different browser. So, bing, bang, boom. Hello, Mr. Bones. We are in for another chapter. Looks like it. Already. Feels like we were just doing the last one. This week has gone by quick. It's so weird having 3 chapters in a row with no breaks. We'll see if there's a break. We will find out near the end if there's another. I can actually check real quick just on Discord on the announcements. That's what I usually do. Nope. Really? That's crazy. I literally can't think of the last time we had 4 weeks in a row. I can't think. Does it still say 1137? It should say 1138. Or did I just not change the name? I probably just didn't change the name. I made the thumbnail, but I didn't change the name. That's probably why. Golly, I hate that I can't... The edit button just goes away when I have it on half my screen. There we go. There you go. There you go. Now it should be the correct ones. Let's see. There we go. Yeah. 4 weeks in a row. What is Oda up to? He's been on it. I guess he just had just this big book of just exposition he had to just get off his chest. So he's like, I'm not taking any breaks. I'm writing all this exposition and getting it out of the way before the big fights. Then Then once we get at the actual fighting and stuff, that's when the breaks are going to happen, I'm sure. Which I already know this is one of those again, from what I've seen, from the small spoilers I've seen, that are, sometimes you just get a little bit. I just know that there is more talkity talks in this chapter. That's all I know, though. And I feel like we've been getting that a lot the past couple chapters. Like last chapter, it was just them talking about the old king and Loki and all that stuff. And then the chapter before was at the party where they were just talking about Nika and Loki and stuff, So it was a lot of that. A lot of that the past couple weeks. And then the weeks before that were like, Elbaf, blah, 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 Yeah, we'll see. I don't watch his videos. I think I'm subscribed to him, but I don't actually watch his videos, even though I feel like we make similar kinds of content. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe I thought we did at some point, but we don't really. I don't really watch stuff. I can't be watching those long videos. I gotta be making long videos. Well, I guess the last video was a bonus thing from my other video, which could have been a really, really long video if I had added the Olvia stuff to it, which would have been funny. But it felt like that needed to be a separate video, so that's how I kept it. Let's turn that down a little bit. This is like nice vibes and stuff, but we'll turn that down a little bit. Right there. Well, that's at like 6% for y'all, so y'all can probably barely hear anything, but there we go. That's where the chat is. I don't really watch One Piece videos anymore. I watch like a couple people's reactions after I do mine, of course. But besides that, I don't like watch everyone else's stuff. Hello, Tyrese. We're about to do some One Piece chapter reactions. That is what we're here for. There's so many things to talk about. We will see. We will see. Well, first thing we got to talk about is who's on the first. Yeah, we obviously knew because they went to a big shrine with who's thing on it. Hello, Tyrese. We're just starting, so no spoilers, but we're getting right into it. How far? Well, we're 8 minutes in. We might as well go right into it, Or you get right into it. I might not be looking at the chat just because of spoilers and stuff, but we'll be thin. But let's see. Chapter 1138, Harley, which is from the Harley stuff. The Harley books, which I assumed that was just like a play on words of like the holy scriptures, but these are the Harley scriptures, and they were saying like, oh, it got like, the interpretations there's too many interpretations and stuff. So I was like, so maybe even like the name, but maybe I'm wrong on that. But I feel like Harley and holy sound very similar. So I'm assuming that could be a thing. Harley Quinn. Yep, definitely. It's Harley Quinn. She wrote it all down. Yep. But we got Onichal Yamato and yada yada yadas. The base belongs to who's who. Who would have thunk it? The base with who's giant head belongs to who's who. Who would have thunk it? And he's got the sword. He's got the special sword. I don't know why he needs it. Oh man, he's big. I forgot how big he was. But he's with his little cat posse and whatnot. He's got a kimono on instead of his nice red suit. Instead, he's got the big old horns. I wonder, because this hadn't really gone anywhere and hasn't really conjoined with anything that's going on in the story. But now that we know a little bit more lore on the ancient giants, how, there's like a bunch of half-breeds with horns and stuff. And now who's who is actually coming into the cover story. So maybe now that we know more things about ancient giants and how, there's a bunch of like half ancient giants around, maybe we'll get some stuff. Maybe this something will actually happen with that. Who knows? That's just my first thought, seeing his face with the big old horns and whatnot. But notes talking about stuff I don't care about. The aftermath of Loki's defiance. So Loki, he's getting beat up still. He's huffing and puffing, which is great. So when he gets out, that's the thing, that whenever he finally gets released, It's gonna be like, oh, he's already at half health, you know. If he was at his full strength, then he'd be able to do this and that and that and this. But he's already gonna be really beat up, you know, like how Zorro and Whitebeard are in the stories, you know. It's just like, oh, you caught him at his low point, you know. That's how it's gonna be, maybe. You're the spitting image of red-haired Shanks. Did you really think I'd just write that off as a coincidence? Yeah, I'm actually surprised that I didn't hear anyone mention that. That like, yeah, he would know what who Shanks looks like, and he didn't mention that. I didn't hear anyone talk about that. But I don't listen to people anymore. But I didn't think about that. So, boy, he's a big guy. He goes, he's triple dotting. He's sextuple dottings. Goodness gracious. Mind your own business. That matter has nothing to do with you. You're not wrong, but a great pirate and a celestial dragon, they're polar opposites. You can't blame me for being curious. So are they just leaving now? I guess so. They're just like, well, we'll beat them up, so we're done now. Anyone would find it strange that you two share the same face. Well, I mean, like, that's just how people are. That's anime. That's anime for you, you know? You look at Nier Automata, and it's like, how's 2B doing anything with the blindfold? You watch Jujutsu Kaisen, you're like, how the heck is Gojo doing any of this? He's hiding, he's literally wearing a blindfold. But he's just doing stuff, and there's not like a point in time where he's like, oh, I'm actually wearing a blindfold. I'm actually doing this with my senses. There's none of that. There's none of that in JJK. He just has a blindfold on, but just sees anyways. And that's how it is in Nier as well. So it's just an anime trope. The pirate you're referring to is my younger twin. There we go. He went astray. At one point, he did return to the Holy Land, but it seems he grew too attached to the filthy world of the surface. Ooh, okay. He did return. So, everyone's saying that it wasn't Shanks up at the Reverie. People are like, oh, it wasn't Shanks this whole time, you know. But I'm still thinking in my head. I have never said that. You know, a lot of people have been on that. I have never been one to say like, oh, I still always think it was Shanks. I feel like it would be, it's almost too much for it to be like, oh, it was actually what's his name, Shamrock the whole time. I think that Shanks still did go to Maryswa. This isn't confirming it, but I still personally believe that. But we'll see. He returned. I see. It's funny how I ended up hating both you brothers. And I thought my grudge wouldn't get any worse. What a family. Huh. He went astray. What does he went astray mean? Because, like, the big, like, thing right now is that, like, he was at God Valley as a baby, and Roger found him as a baby. That's not him going astray. That's you losing your baby, Garling. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows who went to the meeting? Unless it's revealed in this chapter in a second. We'll see. You bastards. When I get out of these chains, yeah, you know what I'll do, right? I'll make it my mission to make sure my buddies are avenged. Oh, these guys are just dead. Oh, that gorilla's just dead. At least they look. They may just be, One Piece incapacitated. They may be just pulling a Pell right now, but they may just be pulling a Pound right now, but they sure do look dead. We'll see. The rat allegations are not cleared just yet. Was that supposed to be a threat? Oh, he's like, I'm turning back. Captain, you don't have to. I know. He isn't worth getting my hands dirty over. Isn't that right, Cerberus? Oh, okay. He's got them dogs. He's got the dogs. Ooh, is this a devil fruit sword? Like the elephant and the other dog that shoots exploding baseballs? Are we getting more of that? Because we completely skipped that in Egghead. The whole Vegapunk knows how to infuse a devil fruit into an object like a sword or a gun. was not mentioned once in Egghead. So maybe we're actually getting back to that. That's true. I am ready for him to be free. I am very ready for the story to move forward. I know we're getting a lot of exposition about Elbaf and stuff like that, you know, politics, lore, and stuff like that. But I'm ready for some good fights because I didn't like fights. The fights in Egghead weren't great, you know. Not gonna lie, you know, they were all right, but there was nothing amazing about the fights in Egghead. So I'm ready for some good fights again. Personally, or good character development. You know, good personal character stuff is good, but this weird just like lore and world building stuff, I'm like, okay, let's keep going. That's how I'm personally feeling right now, but I know a lot of people disagree. People enjoy One Piece for different reasons. But that's interesting. He's got a dog sword. Oh, because big. Wait a second. Wait, no, that's not just the sword. That's just he's straight up summoning a thing. I mean, was there even a fight? I don't even know. I don't even think there were any fights in Egghead. I wouldn't consider anything in Egghead to be a fight, really. When you compare it to other fights in the actual series of One Piece, and 2 in fights in other manga, which is just like, wow. Read one other manga fight with fights in it. It's like, oh, wow. These are what fights are. But that's a big dog. I like a dog. That dog's going to die eventually, but that's cool. I like Cerberus. I'm a Cerberus fan, you know. I don't talk about. You know, I like Cerberus. I've always been kind of a Cerberus fan, like in the back of my head. But it's just like, I've never thought about it too much. But I like Cerberus. And that's like an American dog. Thank goodness it's not like a Shiba Inu. It's because every time dogs are showing up in Japanese things, it's always a Shiba. But this looks like what was it called? I don't even know. I'm not good at dog names, yeah. Yeah, it's not attached at the sword right now. I'm only right here, but this is cool. What the hell? Golly, he there's been a lot of frowning from Loki. Loki do be looking like distressed a lot, you know? Like sometimes he's like, I'm not hurt. This is fine. But then other times he's like, what's going on? Oh, okay, the sword's coming out of the dog's mouth. He's like, I am in distress. It's my biting blade. Ooh. What's with this creepy thing? Okay, this isn't okay. I'm liking this. I'm liking this so far. What was this though? Like he's like, oh, when I get out of these chains, I'm gonna make sure my buddies are avenged. And then he's like, what are you doing, Shamrock? Like you go and like beat up a guy while he's chained up, and then you leave, and then as you're leaving, the guy who's gotten beat up because of unfair things is like, oh, I'm gonna get back at you and have my revenge. And he's like, what? Is that a threat? You want to hurt me? Like, excuse me, Shamrock. Come on. He's so petty. What is that? Is that a... Oh, his little... So there things on the down, and then that's like spinning. Its collar is like spinning like a buzzsaw or something. Captain, let's clean up here and move on. Scramble. What is going on? And then something just happened here. He went rough, and then was something shot at them? Oh, did he, or were the... Oh, he said scramble, and then were the heads shot off? What? Heal. Heal means come back. So he shot the 3 heads. That's why they were spinning. So he shot the 3 heads out. And then summoned... And then brought the rest of the Cerberus body back into his sword. And then she's over here making a little birdie out of her arrows. Feel free to hunt me down anytime. I'll face you then, assuming you survive this. Hey! You've got to be kidding me. And then... Are they homing back? No way. If that thing gets me... Those celestial bastards. Damn it all! Oh, man, they're just... Oh, that's really cool. Okay, this is cool. This is neato. So he's got like a weird Cerberus sword. And then she's got the arrow fruit. But it's just like, okay, that's cool, but you're just whacking a guy who's chained up and can do nothing. You're spawn killing over here. And they stab him. And then they're just... Ooh, that's a bad stab, though. So, okay, so Loki's going to be nerfed for the rest of the whole arc, you know. They're going to be like, oh, well, you know, Loki's going to get defeated, like, later in the arc. And people are going to be like, oh, well, you know, Loki wasn't in his prime. It wasn't prime Loki because, you know, he got stabbed by 3... Cerberus dogs by someone who's possibly stronger than Shanks right now. Could be equal, you know. This guy certainly thinks that he's stronger at the moment, so we'll see. Total subjugation isn't feasible now. Let's start by taking their children hostage. We'll need an extra person. Understood. Who shall I call? Okay, so their plan right now is that they're saying, like, we want Elbaf on the world government side, so we're just going to subjugate them and then get them on our army. And they were going to see if Loki wanted to help out with that. But Loki's like, nah thanks, fam. So now they're like, okay, we need a different third person, you know. We need a third person for the group call. Yeah. I hope so. I mean, like, scale, you know, stuff has to go up, you know. You know, the stakes have to go up. We can't just keep saying, like, oh, Shanks top one all the time, you know. This guy's got to be like stronger than like Kaido at this point and stuff like that, you know. We need formidable opponents for the Straw Hats. I do declare. Not Lucci. Sorry, Lucci and Kaku. I love you, Kaku, but you know, we need someone a little bit stronger. West Castle? That's a typo. I'm telling you, it was red-haired. Liar! Shanks would never attack for no reason. It's the truth. I saw him with my own eyes. Red Hair's visited Elbaf many times. I recognized him. But I know Shanks. He's a super cool guy. Maybe it was just someone who looked like him. I mean, you're actually correct this time, Luffy. And also, if you've seen him, if you recognize him, you've seen him so many times, then you would know that he's missing an arm. But of course, he was under a robe and hiding his other eye too. So we'll see. It was shocking. We were wondering what he was doing in the castle. He just left Elbaf recently. Wouldn't it be weird for him to come right back just to skulk around? Even if you're telling the truth, there's no way it could be Shanks. Shanks is always calm and laid back. Him doing something like this just doesn't add up. You really have faith in him, huh? No, Nami. You betcha, Nami. It'd tick you off just as much if someone badmouth tell Mare it's Belmare-san. I like this. You know what? How is he? Okay, he wasn't there. He wasn't there for the flashback. He wasn't there. He was walking away when Nami's sister was talking about that. So he must have just heard this story again at some point. I guess he would know who Belmare is, but I'm surprised that Luffy mentioned Belmare. Oh, Arlong Park. Best park. So it was a lookalike. That or a brother, maybe. Shanks' brother? Well, if he has one, he'd probably be a nice guy, too. Like Bucky. I doubt it's I doubt there's another sibling, but... Well, what did they say? We'll need an extra person. Who should I call? I don't know. Maybe. We'll see. He's probably a nice guy, too. But honestly, we never talked about his family. I heard that he was raised on a pirate ship from when he was little. Who that? Who that? Is that Scopper? Is that Shiki? Is it Scopper / Shiki? Is it Colin's father? I figure Roger and Rayleigh were his real family. Their whole crew. Except for Buggy. Why you gotta be like that? Why you gotta say like that? I mean, he was so... Y'all were buddies in Marineford. Y'all were good together in Marineford. Why can't you just be like, oh, I think... Ugh. I don't know. I need to rewatch Marineford and Impel Down, man. Oh, they were such good buddies, but... They still got that rivalry. You know. It's okay. You know. It's fine. It's fine when Luffy gets to smack talk Buggy. Only Luffy can, really. Step. Oh, snap. What's his name coming up? We could be getting Scopper here. What is he? Frankie's group. Frankie's group. I was about to say, like, what have they been up to? Because right now, it's the trio. It's the first three. And then I'm pretty sure it's just Sanji and Usopp are at the party with the Giants. And then the rest of them are still up with Saul. I'm pretty sure that... No, it's Sanji, Brook, and Usopp down there. And then it's Chopper, Robin, and Jinbei back up. I don't know where Jinbei is. And Frankie too. Unbelievable. Adam Wood as far as the eye can see. And I thought it was meant to be rare. Is that supposed to be Frankie? That don't look like him from down here, but whatever. Oh, he's got a big old beard. Wow. I had no idea it was so valuable overseas. Oh, or is that just, what's her name? Oh, carrying her. Maybe I should start selling some on the side. Oh, goodness. Weren't you sent here to keep an eye on me? Saul Preem seemed pretty strict about it. He was all like, it's a sacred tree, bucko. Don't go cutting it down, you hear? You sound just like him. Still, I guess stealing from under the noses of giants is a tall order. I don't think he would. I mean, maybe. We'll see. But, like, we can buy it. We got money at this point. We got money. Oh, yeah, he's just picking them up right there. I was wondering who that was. I was like, that doesn't look like Ripley. That doesn't look like Frankie. But he's holding him. Oh, look at that. But he jumped down because he's super cool. Look at that cool pose. Maybe that explains the markup. What's that? It's a mural. It's graffiti from eons ago. Some kids probably etched right into the bark and it got fossilized. It's now designated as a cultural heritage site thanks to its enormous historical value. Is a Punk's doodle that big of a deal? It's said to date somewhere back between 900 and 800 years ago. What happened 900, 800 years ago? If that's true, then that would place it right in the middle of the Void Century. What? We gotta show Robin. She'd be thrilled. Hey, ain't this drawing kind of odd for old Elbaf? Not all the figures look like giants. Quite. As far as we know, ooh, that looks like a robot. There were definitely times where the races of the worlds clashed. But this kind of cooperation is unheard of. That's why I think it was probably some kid's dream. Ooh, so you think this isn't like a historical mural. It was just someone's... So, I guess we'll see it later. We'll see that mural later. I'm sure there'll be a lot to talk about. Walrus School. School of the Walrus. Classes in session. Everybody listen up. Oh boy, my favorite. So this is the Harley. Yep, the Harley Scriptures. The Holy Scriptures. The Harley Scriptures. Whoa, it's so big and old. Wah, giant dust. You're doing good, Chopper. You're being useful to the story, for sure. Absolutely. I have a feeling the Chopper is not going to do anything in this chapter, and he's just going to be like, wow, really? He's going to be very reactive and not be useful, but we'll see. This pretty tome here preserved many of the rich myths and legends of Elbaf, although it spawned countless interpretations too. That's why all the warriors of Elbaf believe in very different versions of the sun god. Ain't that the funniest thing you ever heard? May I read it? Looks like someone's doing the Nika. Oh, look at that. Harun's doing the Nika dance too. They're all doing it. Is Usopp there? I can't see him from here. I mean, he'd be too small. Ooh, that chopper drawing is not great. It's all right. Of course, Derish. I'm not doing that. Art's kind of rough right here. But whatever. The narrative is split into 3 distinct sections. It's said that the third world refers to the present day, meaning it's a type of prophecy. Mind you, legends of Nika have spread silently all over the world, right? Because we know with the Buccaneers and stuff. The only thing that they all have in common is that he appears with a booming laugh to this beef. Doom-ta-da-da, doom-ta-da-da, don-ta-da-da, don-ta-da-da. I'll read it aloud then. The first world, the earth burned in endless flame. And the hearts of men... what's going on here? The first world, the earth burned in endless flame, and the hearts of oh god, oh boy, okay, and that's the end too. Good to know. Good to know. Oh goodness, this is what people were waiting for. I'm assuming is something like this. Because, like, I'm already seeing stuff. I'm seeing things that look a lot like the stuff from the... finally! Enel! Enel cover story. You're coming back, finally. He's been in my thumbnail. Enel's been in my thumbnail this whole time. Enel talking about the fairy Verth. He's been up there the whole time. Also, my actual, like, I'm not like a big theory guy. I still need to read all this, by the way. I haven't even read this yet, but I will. But my theory is that when Enel is talking about the endless Verth and like how he gets confused and it's actually the moon, I think it's not actually the moon. I think it is the earth. Like the endless Varth used to be the world, the One Piece world until the waters rose. That's my theory. That's like my one, like, lore One Piece theory. I'm not a theorizer, but that's my one thing that I think. All right, the first world. The earth burned in endless flame, and in the hearts of men burned with desire. And in the hearts of men burned with desire, from whispered prayers, the sun god rose, beckoned by the enslaved who reached for the forbidden star. The god of the land was enraged with a serpent of fire. They cast the world into ruin. Darkness fell. Death reigned. They would not meet again. What? I gotta read that again. I'm gonna read this a bunch. This is reading time, baby. I don't read. This is the one day I don't take my meds too. The one day I'm like, I don't need my ADD medication today for sure. Nope, don't need it. Woo, would have been real nice to have right now. So I'm gonna have to read over this a couple times, yeah. And then we'll have to see what Viz looks like too, Sun God rose, beckoned by the enslaved, who reached for the forbidden star. The god of the land was enraged with the serpent of fire. I cast the world into ruin. Darkness fell. Death reigned. They would not meet again. So Nika helped some slaves, but then a big snake god was like, no. That's everywhere now. The second world. A breath stirred in the abyss. The god of the forest wove their magic, nurturing its devils. While the sun lit... I feel like this has to do with the devil fruits. Obviously, the god of the forest wove their magic. Forest, trees, fruit. Like the forest, not the sea, We'll see if the sea gets here later, but we'll see. Sea. While the sun lit the embers of war, those of the half crescent, the moon, and the full moons dreamed. The moon people, possibly the Skypeans. Yet the ones who slew the sun, defied themselves, evoking the wrath of the sea god. They would not meet again. The third world, so this is like, I guess we're in the third world right now. Chaos reigns, the world drifts in a void, yet time does not erase the memory of the promised day. The world drifts in a void, yet time does not erase the memory of the promised day. Its shadow looms as the voice of the half moon. Half moon, D. Echoes through the ages. Once more, the sun god shall rise, laughing, dancing, guiding the world to its final act. The sun is reborn. A new dawn will break. Surely this time they will meet. And then we got Frankie. Look at Frankie. Frankie, of all people, sing this, too. Like, on fossilized atom wood. You know what would be really cool? Like, I'm not even looking at all this, interpreting all this, but what would be cool if they took... no. If he used this specifically to upgrade the Sunny. No, he wouldn't do that, but... Okay, a lot going on right here. That's the Noah right there. Let's go and boop that up, right? Let's go and boop that up. I don't care. We got circles and swirls, so we'll see. Uh-huh. Yeah, well, let me, like, actually look at the mural, because, like, let me just, like, I'm sure there's a second world, but at first I was like, okay, this, first, second, third. Do I still have my little thingamajigger? I do! Woo! Ah, yeah, we got that again. There we go. Love that. So we got future stuff over there. This looks like, because we knew it's a futuristic world, you know, cities, smokestacks and stuff. A giant sea beast, sea beasts. We know what sea beasts are. And then this right here looks exactly like the mural from Skypea, from the moon that Enel found. And this looks like it looks like, I remember seeing it and thinking it looks like a conveyor belt, but this makes me really think it looks like a conveyor belt right now. And then I see a lot of animals coming up here into what looks like the Noah, you know, Noah's Ark and whatnot. There's a king on top of it, too. Who knows what that's all about. This guy's breathing fire. Or is it saying, where are these coming from? So the city, future city, has this, which is like power, I guess. I don't know what these things are, if they're like power or something. And they're going up to this, and then lightning is lightning, Enelru. Like, and I see like the Noah's right there, but it's also right there. So I'm wondering if that's like the Noah coming down from the moon, or if it's saying that it's going up to the moon. I think it's coming down, and that's where it is right now. But I see like animals over here 2x2, so maybe it's going up. I don't know. And then there's the big tree, Yggdrasil, in the middle, and then another creature right here. One of these might be the... I don't know. But then we see a bunch of ships, pirate ships, assumedly. One, this has the Nika spot on it. I can see that. You know, this guy's got a big sword. I'm sure Mihawk could defeat him over here. Fishes, mermaids. That's a squirrel! Squirrel girl, it's my main! So we got a... Ooh, oh well. You don't need that. The people on the right on the elevator. These guys? The elevator. If you mean this... Well, I don't know. I would assume that these are like old Skypeans or something. I don't know. Oop, oh, they're all back all of a sudden. That looks like a giant right here, straight up. That could be an ancient giant right there. That is an ancient giant robot. That's a fucking whale. That's not even a sea base. That's just straight up a whale. Laboon. 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 Bro, are we gonna get people riding Laboon in the final arc? Yo. This guy almost looks like one of the numbers. I mean, like, this guy right here also looks like the silhouette of one of the numbers. But this guy could represent, I don't know. Because this guy looks big. Maybe he's not supposed to be giant, but maybe he's just a... What are they called? The minks. The minks. I mean, this little creature right here looks like a mink. But... And then right here we got Joy Boy stretching and whatnot, doing his Nico pose. We got good old Nico over here. People on boats. And then another giant, it looks like. And then a mer person. This could be a fisherman, too. Who knows? They got little horns and two. And then they're fighting against this big creature, against the devil. I don't know which devil it is, but... Can I, like, leave this? There we go. Interesting. But, so there is the sun god. There is the god of the land. The god of the forest, who is different from the god of the land. Half crescent and full moons. Who slew the sun. So after Nico was defeated, or maybe this is about Joy Boy over here. I don't know. That's when the sun rose up. Those who slew the sun. Like, who are the they would not meet again? Chaos reigns. So there's only 3 gods. There's the god of there's the sun god, there's the land god, and there's the forest god. I don't know who's who, but who's who? The red line, yeah, true. Maybe, possibly. Possibly. There's a lot going on with this. And this is also just a child's interpretation, too. And like she said, you know, it was probably just some kid's dream, you know. And then, like, he's specifically, like, highlighting, though, the mermaid, the robot, and the mink, possibly? Okay. Now, this is a good chapter. I will say that, you know. I was, you know, not sure. I was like, oh, no, another lore thing. I'm ready for fights and stuff. You know, but, like, this is a good one. This is a good one. This is the best chapter in Elbaf, for sure. Absolutely. Not just because of, like, all of this stuff and lore stuff, but there was cool power stuff. I think this is, like, the arrow fruit is neato and stuff, but this dog, though. This dog, though. I like this dog, though. We're going to go back to this, by the way, just in case. I won't get in trouble. I liked his dog. I like this guy's... I don't know if it's his power or if it's just the sword. Probably it's just the sword and he has other powers. Or maybe he doesn't have a power. Maybe he's just a swordsman, you know? You know, we got to have talks about this guy in Mihawk now. But we don't know, like, how good of a fighter this guy is. All he did was summon a magic dog and, you know, stab someone who's chained up and couldn't move. So, you know, what does that say about this person's feats? Not much. But I do like a good old Cerberus. And I like the stuff with Luffy because, like, I don't know. It's more stuff about, like, Luffy himself, you know, and, like, his relationship with Shanks and his relationship with the rest of the crew, you know, because, like, he's, like, talking about Belmare, you know, of all people, you know. You know, it's not often that Luffy actually even talks about Shanks in the story all that often, you know. That is not something that happens too often. So I'm liking that. I'm liking where this is heading. And then, you know, and also we got Scopper. Probably Scopper. Because I'm assuming that because he's like, oh, Roger and Rayleigh were his real family, their whole crew, except for Buggy. You know, he mentioned Roger and Rayleigh, but there's one person they did not mention, and that's Scopper, who's conveniently on the page right there. That's why I think it's Scopper. I've always thought it was Scopper. You know, I've never thought it was Shiki or some other weird person. I've always thought, like, it's probably going to be Scopper. We're probably going to see Scopper. He's enough of an important person to be mentioned again. The number 3, you know, the Sanji of the crew. But we'll see. Maybe I'm dead wrong. But I'm excited for... That's getting me going. I'm going to think a little Scopper. And then Frankie stuff, I love Frankie. Frankie's like my 3rd favorite Straw Hat at this point. 3rd? 2nd, maybe? I don't know. But I like that Frankie's getting stuff. Frankie's already getting more stuff than he did in all of Egghead. You know, Frankie's arc. And where's Usopp? Where does Usopp, you know, Elbaf being Usopp's arc? We're pretty far. We're a couple months into Elbaf. And Usopp has not done much. Not much. I feel like that means more that it's a Paramecia, because Logias are really more elemental, and Paramecias are like the more like weird, like it can just be like any like weird concept. That's why I think it's a Paramecia, but it's whatever. That doesn't matter. Hopefully not. Hopefully they're not just going to be there partying the whole time. Hopefully someone is going to come to the party and be like, hey, we got to stop partying and actually like do something. Hopefully. But we'll see. We will see, indeed. Golly, those guys are riding whales, though. But this guy has the sun, too, which is like, okay. If Nika's the sun god, then why is this person holding the sun, too? I don't know. But I'm not a big lore guy. I'm not one of those people who's going to make like a... I'm not fucking O'Hara over here being like, I figured out the whole story of One Piece before it was revealed. Oh, there's a little Tontada down there. I just saw him. And a fish. That's just a straight-up fish. Why'd you draw that, Oda? Why'd you draw that straight-up fish? And also, this is a big tree, but is this supposed to be, you know, the tree that we're on right now? Because this tree does not look like the Elbaf tree. This doesn't look like... This looks like a different tree, so... Almost didn't. I mean, he's a little guy. He's a little guy, for certain. And, of course, the Skypean down there. Up here. Beside the... Another guy. Those are really big. I know there's, like, differences between all of the wings, technically. Like, the Skypeans and the Balkans and the Shandians all have different features. Do any of them have the little thing on their heads? Specifically, the little antennas. Because Skypeans have antennas, but I don't see anyone with that specifically. So, yeah. This guy down here... This guy down here has a little thing on him. This guy down here, I don't know if he's just, like, swinging something, or if this guy is, like, awakened or something, because he's got, like, a little, like, swoosh on him like that. So, I don't know. I didn't look at, like, the guys in the boats all that much. I don't think it's that big of a deal. They're just guys in boats, which is going to be like, oh! This guy over here, they look like they're part of, like, an army or something. Specifically. This almost looks like T-Bone. Yo, T-Bone? T-Bone is alive and coming back? Yo, we're gonna get a T-Bone thing. I did see that. I did see that big dragon. I do like a big old dragon. And it looks like these guys are, like, fighting over here. It's like they're both breathing fire into each other. But we got T-Bone over here. And then I see, like, a little ninja star right here. So could this be, like, actually, like, someone from Wano? And then this over here, these guys have, like, a straight-up Nika flag on them, but the rest of them don't. Only one of them does. I don't see any, like... A lot of these people have shields, too, which is, like, interesting. This person does not... This person has a long sword. Sword and shield. Spear. Sword and shield. What's it called? Halberd. Not halberd. Trident. I'm trying to see some Wano. I'm trying to see if there's any Wano specific people down here. I don't know. Maybe, like, this guy. But this guy does not. This guy has, like, a big, like, hat. That doesn't look like a Wano hat, though. And then, like, this mink over here has one sword. I don't know. Because, you know, Wano people aren't, you know, sword and board people, you know? Not a lot of sword and board in One Piece when you think about it, you know? Like, who's, like, the most famous, like, sword and board, you know, swordsman, you know? Because Vista and Mihawk and Zoro, none of them use shields, you know? Not a lot of sword and board users. They're all two-handed, you know? Well, not Zoro. He's three-sword style. But, yeah. But yeah, lots to look into. And there's stuff up here, too, I didn't even see. Like, there's something going on up here. Maybe. Are those planets up there? Like, I see two circles up here. Don't know what's up with that. I don't think I see anything up there. All I see is that there's just, like, fire over the bottom of all of it. The ones who slew the sun defied themselves, evoking the wrath of the sea god. So it's like when they use, like, the ancient weapon. What all these things are the ancient weapons, you know? Where's Pluton and Uranus and Poseidon? Is this just straight up Poseidon? Is this their version of Poseidon over here? Could these three big things actually be the three ancient weapons, maybe? I don't know. Probably not. Maybe that is. I mean, like, the first, like, encounter would be like, oh, the Noah. But we know that the Noah is different. Noah isn't Uranus, you know. Or Pluton. Nah. I don't see any specific... I mean, like, this thing is, like, shooting a lightning bolt down, so maybe it's Uranus. Maybe it's the thing that took out Lelouchia. It looks like it's got, like, things on top of it that are, like, making it float or something. I don't know. None of these look like the Arc Maxim specifically either. Skypea is good. It's not my favorite, but it is good. We're finally getting stuff back because people have been saying, like, with the Nika stuff, they're like, oh, Skypea predicted all of this and stuff. And it's like, no, none of that's actually shown up. But, like, now that we're looking at stuff like this, it's like, okay, now we can start looking at things again. But this thing is the most interesting right here because this is straight up the thing. This could be Emu. I don't know. It's a king. Well, I mean, I think this is probably Emu over here. I'm assuming. Well, that's the question, though. Like, do you think that this is, like, because she said, like, I think it was probably some kid's dream. So I think that, like, all of this right here is the future. I think this is the final arc over here. I think this is the final act. I think this over here is the past. I think this is probably the first world and, like, a bit of the second world. Or maybe just, like, the end of the second world. And then this is the third world. This is the final act. Like, this is, like, everyone coming together to fight Nika. I've seen people say that it showed the Nika shield. And then I don't know. Like, there's obviously stuff that's gonna come back with it, but, like, people were saying, like, when Joy Boy, when, like, Gear 5th was, like, first, like, shown, like, oh, you know, when people first saw, like, the Joy Boy pose from Who's Who, still very interesting. This is a Who's Who, you know, Who's Who is here for this, you know. Where's the clear? Here it is. Clear all drawings. It's very interesting that Who's Who is on the cover because he was the first one who talked about Nika in the first place, and now we're getting a lot of this stuff, you know, ancient things, a lot of horned people. But I think that this is the future. I don't think that this is a showing what happened in the Void Century. I think this is what's gonna. I think this is a prophecy of the future. So. Yeah, something like that. I mean, yes. I think there's a good chance the robot will come back. The robot's just chilling on Egghead right now. You know, he turned off for a little bit. You know, we don't really know what even happened to him. He kind of just, like, shut down, and he's chilling again. So he could come back on. He could turn back on before the end of the series. But, okay, you know what? I've been going for a bit. I went for an hour today. So, well, I guess it took me, like, 8 minutes to get here and stuff. But, you know. I didn't get too spoiled. I saw, like, a little bit of this. I knew that something like this was going to show up. And I'm going to have to... what I'm interested in now is... what Viz is going to look like. I need to wait and see what the Viz translations are. Because I like TZB, but, like, I'm kind of... I don't know. I'm starting to like the Viz translations more and more as time is going on, especially in Elbaf recently. Especially after reading some, like, other things that they do, like if you try reading, like, My Hero or JJK with TZB scanned, it's like no, just give me the normal version, give me the Viz version for those, please. It's always been all right for One Piece, but then also, you know, you'd think that they would have, like, extra. Lots of times when they have big things like that, they have, like, a bunch of, like, their own, like, you know, translation stuff, but not this time. But this was indeed a good chapter. I guess the guy at the top could be a Lunarian. Now that I'm looking at things, he's not just a Skypian. He's probably like a Lunarian. So, yeah. That is true. Yeah, they can't. They cannot fly. Well, their wings are little. They're little tiny things. So we got the... So there's the Shandians, the Balkans, the Skypians, and then the Lunarians, who are separate. And they're from the Red Line, which... Did any of these specifically talk about the Red Line? A Serpent of Fire. That's probably what that is. So there was a bunch of... And we know that, like, before the Void Century, it was known as the Era of Slaves, because that's what the Dome Tatas were talking about. It burned an endless flame. And I remember that shot of the Tentatas. It was like there was fire in it, too, in that one shot of it. Sun God rose, beckoned the enslaved for those... reached for the forbidden star. Could that be the moon? I don't know. The god of the land was enraged. The serpent of fire, he cast the world into ruin. Darkness fell. Death reigned. They would not meet again. The god of the land and the sun god. And then some third god of the forest created the devil fruits. This was after the land was... After the Red Line. So the Red Line was before the flood. That's so weird. That, like... That's weird to think, actually, you know? That, like... The Red Line... wasn't like the cause or any... The Red Line and then the seas rising are two, like, separate things. It's hard to imagine a world where the seas were a lot lower, but then the Red Line was still there. Just thinking about that. I don't know how the Grand Line itself was made, though, and, like, the Calm Belt. That's what I'm wondering, too. Half crescent and full moons. I wonder what the difference between those two is. I mean, this is one of those. I'm sure a lot of people are eating this up too, you know. And I am too, you know. I'm not like, you know. Part of me is like, I want my Unga Bunga fights. I want to see Luffy take on an opponent, you know. Have some choreography, some hand-to-hand stuff. Maybe figuring out how to defeat, you know, maybe some, you know, battle smarts, you know. Some back and forths, more than just clashes, you know. Some stakes, you know. I like that. But stuff like this is also stuff that we've been waiting a very, very, very long time for. And, you know, I guess the fight stuff is just like par for the course, you know. It's like, okay, yeah, we're going to get that every arc, you know, whatever. But this is the type of stuff we wait a while for. And this is just like the first page. Too, so I don't know. And it's called the Harley, too, which is also weird. Don't know why. All very interesting. But with that, I think I'm going to end things here. Get our boy back. No, yeah, the One Piece world was actually our world the whole time. Yeah, sure. I don't know if I'd like that, but that is interesting. But yeah, with that, I think I will bid adieu for the week. We will see what happens next week. Because we'll be getting, that'll be our 4th chapter in a row. So, you know, if we've been getting like a lot of this, I guess we're done with Loki getting beaten up for a bit. So I guess they'll probably go. No, what we're gonna get next week, we're gonna get the reveal of who Colin's dad is. We're gonna see if that's good old Scopper or not. We're gonna see if Scopper Shiki / the creator of Bragman. What people are saying. Which we gotta go back and be like, what's up with that too? Because like the creator of Bragman, he was like, oh, don't go be an Elbaf for too long because It gets crazy. There's dangerous things on Elbaf besides just the giants. Also, there's like that weird bear thing in the woods, too. Don't forget about the weird bear thing in the woods. We'll see. I'm fine with that. But, you know, I'm fine either way, usually. It's just weird that we're getting all this all of a sudden. Start of the new year, you know. But, I mean, like, I can tell that, like, some of these, like, the first half looked all right, but, like, the actual scene in the library with Saul and Chopper and Robin does not look good. Does not look doesn't look as good as the other things, you know. Doesn't look as well drawn, so, you know, sometimes he doesn't have to give his all. He gave his all on the last panel, you know, for stuff. But yeah, I will see you next week when we have the next thing, and we'll see who is under the mask. You know, who is under the big hat. We'll see who's under the big straw hat next week, probably. I'm probably not going to make any video. There's no chance any new videos will be coming out. But I'm working on a super big video that I've been working on for like 2.5 years, and I'm actually getting back on it. I'm going to actually start editing it as soon as I get off. It is not a One Piece video. I do have other One Piece videos I want to make. Now that I'm finally done with the Saul video and the Olvia video, that I finally finished that, I can move on to some other things. I don't know if I'm going to make a video about this specifically. I feel like everyone's yapped about this enough to where it's just like, I don't know. I don't have anything new or interesting to say about this that I'm sure everyone else hasn't like concluded to already. So I'm pretty sure I don't have any new specific ideas on this. So what is it? It's video game stuff. So don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. But I got some of that stuff. I mean, you probably see my Red Dead streams show up every once in a while. I only got one more left of those. I got one more Red Dead Redemption 1 stream happening probably next week. And then probably a video will come out of that eventually. But I have a much older video that I'm making that I probably could just put out as is, but I want to put a little more extra stupid effort into it. So I'm going to be doing that. And hopefully have the motivation to do these things. Because I was not motivated last month to work on any of this stuff. But, you know, we'll see how things go. But with that, I'm yapping. I'm not good at ending things because I just yap and yap and yap all day. But we're going to go and do that right now. Don't take that too seriously. Don't go around being like, she's actually the worst and stuff. It was a joke. It was just like a little jokey thing out of all that. You know? Don't take it too seriously. It was just like a little goof. A little bit of agenda, you know? Just a little agenda piece meme, you know? Don't worry about it too much. But it was just a little funny thing that I put out. But don't take it too seriously. All right. I'm leaving. Y'all have a good week. Yes. It was pretty convincing. Well, I appreciate it. It was a lot of yapping, but I appreciate it. All right. I'm out. Goodbye. I do declare. Oh, dang. The music I was listening to